wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden blue pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Yes. Hello, Mountaineer Nation, and welcome to the WolfMan's Call. It's Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023, baby, and I'm feeling fired up today. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow for the WolfMan's Call, we're heading down to Greenbrier for a game changer. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I want to know, Mountaineer Nation, how you doing, man? Are you ready? I just got fired up. I just read an article from Joe Brocato, Metro News. I'll give it to Joey. I love Joe Brocato, right? Joey B. Well, listen, talk about Chad Scott and the new offense and what he was doing. We're going to talk a little bit. That's going to be my intro. I was going to do something different with Dylan Ray. We're going to talk about that next week after the Greenbrier. We're going to get it down. I hope you're ready to go. I hope you're fired up. We got great guests today. What do I have for my great guest? I got Johnny Cantwell, West Virginia United.com. Check it out. We're going to be going along with that. And, of course, we're going to have Frank Fear, part 2. Now, the reason why I'm going to play this part 2 is because John Pennington came on. I didn't want to keep a head coach waiting, and we missed a part of Frank yesterday talking about sports column and what it does. Amateurs and professionals all together go ahead and write this, and he manages it. So you got to listen to it. Hey, if you want to be a sports writer, if you want to be a guy that's getting, or a girl that's getting involved in sports, go to the sports column because they'll publish it unless you really stink. And he says it doesn't turn too many people down. And of course, we have today the father of Nico Marchiol. That's Ken Marchiol telling the story. He's got some cool things going on with some batteries. They're going green. He's bringing to WVU. He's also going down to the Greenbrier, getting involved with his company, helping out for what? The game changer, man, because that's what we're doing. We're preventing opioid abuse and substance abuse because that's what we do. We care for our West Virginia teens, or we care for our West Virginia youth, and we care for those that are already addicted. And that's what Game Changer is about, changing the game. How's everybody doing today? What do we got here? I can see Joey. What's up, Joey? Yeah, what's up? Sup? Is that supposed to be like subscribe to the voice of college football, West Virginia football, the voice of college football over there on YouTube? Yeah, I got you, Joey. Okay, what else we got? We got Kelly McCord. What's up, Wolfman? Hey, what's up, Kelly? How you doing, man? And what else we got? BVD's awake and aware. I'm going to put TriStar up there. I don't know. BVD, welcome to the show. And the cool thing is this, is I'm going to actually bring a guy on from Mountaineer Nation, Joey Foster, because I want you to understand it. I told you, I want you to come on this show, Mountaineer Nation. If you're cool about it, you're respectable, you're respectful, and if you can come and bring an argument, a discussion, whatever it may be, and I want you on here, and I want you to voice your opinion, and you will not get any crap from me. I promise you, man. BDD, it's good that you're awake, brother. Very good. Okay, Mountaineers, let's talk about this Chad Scott. He just did an interview with Joey, and Joe Bricado, and it's a good story. He says he gives himself a B+ in the spring for what he wanted to accomplish as the new offensive coordinator. And I'm really happy. Chad Scott, I think he's been waiting for this. I think this could be in his wheelhouse. I do believe right now that I think that Neil Brown is still trying to go ahead and call plays, but that's my opinion. That's what I've heard from some inside sources. But you know what inside sources are? Inside sometimes, it's all right. Doesn't always mean it's the absolute truth. But I'm going to tell you this, Chad Scott. So let's get excited about this. He talked about the offensive line and being that they're more advanced. He talked about the running backs, C.J. Donaldson, all kinds of good stuff going. Justin Jump Cut Johnson. I call him Triple J. And then of course you have Jaheim White, the young guy, right? That everybody made a big deal about in the spring game. I want to make sure I got that right with that because I don't want to pronounce anything wrong because, this old brain of mine, sometimes we get a little bit crazy all the times I've taken shots to the head. But with that offense, and then, of course, you have your Garrett Green and your Nico Marchiol. Guess what? We have Ken Marchiol on today's show, man. It's such a cool story. But anyways, getting back here, and Chad Scott says he gives himself a B+, and he says that the pre-snap issues, they really believe they haven't worked out. Man, I am so glad to hear that because if you can go ahead and you can do those measures and you can measure yourself, yes, I believe that's a serious intake. It's a serious take on your offense. Any type of, if it's your defense, special teams, whatever. But if you can go ahead and have a measurable, saying we are better after spring ball than we were last year, I'll take that any day because that's a coach that's paying attention and knows what he's talking about. Also, what else are we talking about here? He said he wants to go and use simple offenses, but he wants to decorate it. He wants to put icing on the cake. You know what that means, right? That means you decorate it all up, and guess what? It's all there simple. It's zone plays, right? You can run the quarterback read zone, so you can either hand it off to the running back or the quarterback can run it because he's got two quarterbacks in Nico or Garrett or Nico. Got two quarterbacks that can run the ball. They don't have to call running plays for the quarterbacks, he says in the article. So wherever Chad Scott is coming from, I am digging what he's telling. I'm picking up what he's putting down, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's important. It is important that he has a plan to go in using this offense. So what he wants to do is he wants to move guys around and go ahead. And so what do? You screw with the defense. If you could take Cole Taylor, I'm going to use a very, very simple example. Or Traylon Davis, tight end Cole Taylor, or any other tight ends, if you could go ahead and you can spread them out to be, a slot receiver. But you're a 6'7" tight end. Well, what does that do? So the defense thinks that you're in this one running back, two running back, but one tight end. Okay, personnel. So they're going to respond accordingly. So are they going to have a backer in there? Are they going to have a safety? Well, regardless, 6'7" out there in the slot. I don't see too many linebackers or safeties that are 6 foot. I don't see too many that are over 6'3". You might get a couple up there, but not many. So what you do is what Chad Scott's telling us in his code of coaching is that what he's going to do, he's going to take personnel and what would normally be what you would call, say, like a 10 personnel. 4 receivers, 1 running back, right? Because you got 4, 2 and 2, 3 and 1, whatever, doesn't matter. But you have 10 personnel. But now we're going to put a tight end in there. And you're thinking that, wow, it's going to be tight, right? You got a tight end. Well, no, it doesn't have to be. That's what you do, and that's how you get disadvantages. And you see it when you go against linebackers and safeties. That's just one little example. How about moving a running back that can catch into the slot, right? How about doing different things? Obviously you throw out there, he says he's going to use multiple quarterbacks. And what does that mean? Oh, I don't know. Could it be that you have 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time? Because we know that Garrett Green is an incredible athlete and can catch the ball. Showed in the spring game, right? Showed in the spring game, scoring a touchdown there. So, again, what can you do with all this other? I get excited. I get fired up because it's like little toys, right? For Christmas. And it's kind of like my QR codes. You know what I mean? When I think my QR codes, I have to go ahead and check this out. Artisan Grange. You see that there? You can go ahead and you can QR code that. Artisan Grange Company Hemp dip. Why? Because you don't want to kiss your girlfriend with that nicotine and tobacco, that chewing tobacco. You don't want that. You can go right to wolfmandip.com, or you can go ahead and you can QR it, man, with your phone, right? Get that phone going, QR it, baby. And what does it tell you? It tells you, it goes right to Arson Grange Company shop, and you can go ahead and you can put that hemp in there. No tobacco, no nicotine. Get rid of it, man. Don't kiss your special one with that crap in your mouth. Come on, people. Let's do it right, okay? And of course, you got that with the scanning code. I'll leave that. I saw one got scanned. Thank you very much. And I'll leave that up for a second, but continue on. So Chad Scott, what's he trying to do with this offense? He says it's going to be simple. I love simplicity. You know why? I tell you why. I went and was reading. No, I didn't go there. Excuse me. I missaid that. I went and read an article about the champion of karate. And all he did was come down with a 4 overhead strike. And I said, why are you come down with an overhead strike? It's simple. You have nothing. You're a champion of martial arts, but you win all the time with a strike. He goes, because nobody can stop it. Yeah, but they know what's coming. It doesn't matter. If you know what's coming and you can't stop it, you can't stop it. If you know that West Virginia, behind this offensive line, and you include some tight ends and receivers that are willing to block on the edges, and some great running backs and some quarterbacks that can add to that, if you know that they're going to run and you can't stop it, but I just took your will, man. I just crushed it. That's what we're talking about. So, yes, I am fired up today. I'm excited. With his Chad Scott, his article, he gives himself a B+. I don't know what his grade is going to be. I'll give him an A today because I like what I heard. I like what he wants to do, and that gives me excitement and joy that he knows what his personnel is, and that simplicity, but execution of simplicity is deadly. Remember that. Execution is deadly. All right, so let's jump off this. We'll get off this AGC Hemp Dip Arson Grange Company, and let's go to the first thing I want to talk about, and that, of course, is Johnny Cantwell. And Johnny's going to go ahead, and he's going to tell us about West Virginia United. Now, listen to this. This is important. This is important because you know what? He's bringing positive change. Johnny started as an offensive lineman, played here in 1991 and 95. He's down in Atlanta right now. Here's the interview. All right, my friends, we got something very special here. I've been wanting to do this for a couple years, and John Cantwell, offensive lineman, former offensive lineman for the Mountaineers, who's now into real estate, and he's starting up his own business. And this is something very cool. Johnny, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing, Dale?
Oh,
Coach.
Couldn't be better. No, it couldn't be better. And you know what the thing is, man, is that you're here. You've moved away from WVU. You're down in Atlanta, Georgia, and you still are a Mountaineer through and through. Never goes away. And you've developed a product here. And let's just get some history and some background on this.
So, I started thinking about West Virginia. West Virginia has always been a special place for me. My mom's from Williamson, West Virginia. My brother worked in Charleston, West Virginia. I lived in Morgantown for 5 years and kind of, visit my grandmother down in the south of the state. And one thing that I always felt about West Virginia is that we were that standalone. We could be that standalone group, right? If we were just united and being in a common cause for West Virginia, we could stand alone. Why does a team like Notre Dame get to be, stand alone? Why can't we do the same thing? You think about, you travel on the road, you see somebody with a West Virginia license plate, you're like, immediate friendship, right?
Yeah.
Wear a West Virginia hat out to anywhere and you run into somebody. Just the other day, I was on the road, I had a West Virginia shirt on. I ran into 3 people that all came over and said, hey, I'm from West Virginia. What part of West Virginia are you from? In Georgia.
Yep.
I don't know of any other state, forget it school, but state, Marchiol, state that people do that and say, hey, listen, I'm from there. Who do you know? And I mean, it's an immediate friendship and kinship.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So what are you doing with that, Johnny? Let's go. So, show my QR, baby. Let's go.
So the purpose here is, it's an idea that has to be realized by the state of West Virginia, that we are stronger together and we're united in being West Virginia.
And there you have it. West Virginia United. I stole your line, brother.
That's all right.
But we got the QR code there. What are you selling here? You're selling what? Stickers. You're working on other things. But what does West Virginia United mean for you and what you're trying to reach out to? And this is not just for West Virginia. This is all of Mountaineer Nation. Including-
Absolutely. I mean, you look about, this year when we saw that Joe Mazzulla became the head coach of the Boston Celtics, it's got to fire West Virginians up. We got somebody from West Virginia who has gone off and done great things. You look at the West Virginia baseball team this year, number 6th in the country. It's amazing. We have a golfer who is one of the best in the country. That. Right. Not to mention our rifle team and all these other teams that we have, we are so much stronger being West Virginia, being united and just being us. We are a standalone. We don't need to worry about getting with anybody else. We are who we are, and it's just an idea that has to be realized. So currently we have stickers. We're still working on some iron-on. We're gonna be doing socks. We're gonna be doing shirts. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff to show that who we are, that we are united in being who we are.
Oh, I love it, Johnny, and I appreciate it, buddy. And you can see this QR code. I'm going to show this on the shows, and we need to get this going. You're a Mountaineer brother, and that's what I do is I have all my Mountaineer brothers come on the show, talk about WVU, talk about West Virginia, talk about football, talk about being united. And as long as we're united together, man, hey, you can't go wrong because we're tough. We're tough sons of guns, baby.
Absolutely. And Dale, one more thing I wanted to say, a large portion, not just a portion, but a large portion of the proceeds will go back to West Virginia. That's the point. That's the point to invest back into West Virginia so that they can be who we should be.
Okay, what is it, Johnny? Is it WestVirginiaUnited.com?
WestVirginiaUnited.com.
Or you can check out the new QR code with your phone right there, baby. Check it out. That's the new. I just found out how to use this, so here we go. WestVirginiaUnited.com, QR code. Get a sticker, man. We're going to start this movement. We're going to stand together. And John Cantwell, God bless you, man.
Hey, you too, Dale. Great talking with you, brother.
All right, let's go, Mountaineers. Boom!
You, man.
Alrighty, just having a little bit of fun there with Johnny, but I mean it because you know what? What's wrong? Let's stand together. Let's be united. He went out there into his own trademark. He's doing this to give back to West Virginia. He's not doing this to do anything but get a movement. Hey, I'm on board, man. If that's what a Mountaineer brother wants to do, then I'm on board. And who am I to tell him no way? No way, Jose. No, doesn't happen, man. So let's go back here to what we had yesterday. Again, I called Frank and I apologized. I said, Frank, your interview person got cut off. We got the Jim Brown story. And if you didn't catch the Jim Brown story, man, you missed it. I'm telling you right now, Frank Fear is really the guy. Between him and John Antonic, I'm telling you right now that I don't think that there's much difference. Those two are serious historians. But let's get to the Frank Fear. Now, here's what's important about this. I want you to pay attention. Okay, this sports column that he has, and you're going to see it on the video. I have the website and everything up there for you. If you want to write, you can write. He's been doing this since like 2014. If you are a person that wants to be a writer, wants to cover sports, really wants to stretch your limits, right? Because unless you're stretching your limits, you're not going anywhere. When you feel uncomfortable in something, you're not going. I wasn't always comfortable sitting in front of a camera and going like this. What is that? I don't know what that means, but I don't care because I'm comfortable doing it. This is what I'm telling you. So check out Frank Fear, my man, and part 2 for the Frank Fear Hour, which is only about 4 minutes. Here we go.
Just be persevering.
Well, you know what? I think you're right on there. It's the Frank Fear Hour, man. Bringing it like he's never done it. And you've done it every other time as well. So, Frank, thank you very much. Listen, man, let's talk about the sports column real quick. It's thesportscall.com, and just real quick, tell me about what you're doing with that, along with the book, The Band of Brothers.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. I've been doing the sportscolumn.com. I'm the managing editor. I've been there probably for about, I'm going to say, probably since about 2014. It has a unique mission that we're very proud of. And I have to really a shout out to Brett Dickinson, who is now executive director of an NFL-related foundation in the Baltimore area. He was a radio personality producer in Baltimore and had this idea back in 2011, 2012 that, look, it's great that fans have an opportunity to comment on articles that other people write, sports writers write, but what about those folks who want to write full-length sports articles? So that's the mission of the sports column, to solicit, take in articles written by fans all over the world and get them published. And as you and I were talking before we started taping, we've done close to 5,000 articles now since 2012. Brett started it all, and then I took the baton from him. And it's just great to see people from all over the world having an opportunity. We don't make any assignments, so we put up what people submit, and we get sports commentary, we get people following the NBA, football, NFL is the number one sport, college football, Formula One, British soccer, all kinds of topics. And so we have a pretty good following, and anybody who wants to write an article and get it published, all they have to do is just go to the sports column. You just Google it, the sports column, and you'll see there's a submission portal. And we don't reject unless it's, people are using foul language or making wild accusations. We probably not publish 10 articles among those nearly 5,000. So I think it's a great outlet for fans, especially those who are thinking about a sports writing career or just have something to say that they want to get out there and print.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so you go ahead, you Google sports column. If you're a young professional or you want to get in the profession, you should be doing this. You should be writing on this. This is your perfect opportunity to get published. Put it on your resume.
That's right. And a number of people have done that. And we've also had retired sports writers who want to continue writing. We have a fellow right now, Joe Platania, who was a beat writer for, 40 years, still is really a beat writer in retirement for the Baltimore Ravens, Colts before that. He even covered Baltimore. Again, going back in history, Baltimore was in this Canadian Football League for a time when they lost their team to Indianapolis. And so the bottom line is we even have retired guys who want to keep their hand at sports writing. So we welcome the voices, and we're happy to publish their work.
All right, that's been the Frank Fear Hour. Obviously, just a segment, but what stories? Jim Brown, WVU, got assignment for you. Okay, Ernie Davis, they had a movie, I think it was called The Train or something, The Express. Okay, find out if West Virginia really treated him poorly.
Ernie Davis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will
research that.
Because I don't believe they portrayed it that West Virginia was bad to him. I don't believe it happened.
I'll research it and be ready to report next week.
All right, brother. Thanks so much, everybody. Frank Fear, author of The Band of Brothers, Then and Now, the 66 to 70 Mountaineers. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
All right. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you see the value in that. And like I said, if you want to be a writer or a retired sports writers and you go to the sports column, you can write what you want as long as it's good, decent, respectable. Hey, and I'm not talking about a UFO invasion or something like that. If you wanted to talk about a great old big old steak, like what's the best steak around? What's the best steak you ever had? I'd love to have that conversation with anybody. That's pretty good stuff. And say, hey, howdy, Rooster. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by on the WolfMan's Call. Okay, well, I told you I had some special guest, and that is Ken Marchiol. And the reason why I wanted Ken, because I'm going to have players and their families on here, because what else are we going to do this summer but break it down and have you get to know these people? But I don't know if that Nico Marchiol story, the whole Marchiol family story, has been told, and I hope I've captured here a little bit for you because it's actually pretty remarkable. When you think about it, I didn't know how much I was actually really kind of close to Nico because he had two brothers that were older that played and had success in football, and it really is kind of neat. So I want you to get to know Ken Marchiol, his family, his wife Susie, and they love being in West Virginia, and this is really just cool. So please enjoy. And after that, we're going to have our first Mountaineer Nation fan. That's right, Joey Foster. You actually know him. It's kind of a setup, but we're going to bring him on just so you can see this is how you can come on the WolfMan's Call, Mountaineer Nation. Ken Marchiol. Okay, my friends, as I promised, I'm going to have a special guest, and that, of course, is someone you may or may not be familiar with, but this is Ken Marchiol. Ken, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm wonderful today, Wolf. Thank you for having me on the show and just all the things that you've done for the program, the school, how much excitement you create around everything you do. It's just a pleasure to be around you, visit you, and become friends. So thanks for talking today.
My pleasure, brother. And if you're wondering if Marchiol, that name seems familiar, yeah, it's Nico Marchiol as the quarterback, freshman quarterback for the Mountaineers. Ken is his father, and he's kind of a wild man. And I wanted to get Ken on there because he's got some really cool things going on. And before we get to the actual stories of Ken and his wife and family, moving over to West Virginia a bit, having a part-time house there. Let's talk about something that you have going on right now that I think is so cool that the WolfMan's Call wants to be a part of it. And we want to get this out here because you have something really cool. It's called Paula Mini. You got rechargeable batteries, and you got rechargers. And could you explain that to us? As it would show this, it is so incredible what you have going on. But let's get the bases out.
That's very nice of you. Essentially, I've been involved and had a battery company for about 6 or 7 years since before the pandemic. And Power Mini is essentially a company that we started and we now is owned by the boys because I just wanted them to have some entree into entrepreneurship and being business owners and, having to go out in the community and bring value. And I think this young generation, it's always about bringing power to a connected world. They always want to stay connected, right? So there's just a lot of different unique products in the marketplace. We grabbed a few of them that we thought were real versatile and, want to bring them to the market in the convenience stores, the C-store market, and some of them really apropos around, a AA rechargeable battery. There's about 3 billion batteries that go in just AA's that go in landfills every single year. And we have a rechargeable lithium polymer AA battery that's interesting. I mean, I think it should be in every school or municipal building and hospital and those types of things because we're all wanting to do our part around all the resources that we have for sustainability and for all of us. So I hope that was kind of what you were looking for, but I just appreciate getting to visit with you this morning.
Well, I'll tell you what, things may change in the 4 years from now after we go through a lot together. But I want to say this, man, is that, when you go green, the Power Mini batteries, the rechargeable batteries, and I'm going to put up the website here, and I'm going to get the pictures and all that are going to be shown. But listen, man, it's like you save green, you save the bucks. With the lithium batteries that they have, it's like your cell phone. It just recharges. I can remember all the times when I used to go and get these other rechargeable batteries. You're like, after 1 or 2 times, these things stink. Right? I mean, it charged like 50%, 60%. It was no good, man. It was no good. And I go ahead, I get the Power Minis up there. I mean, they're charging back to 95%, ready to go. Yeah, let's talk about the rechargeable there, okay? Because it's so unique, it's so different. Break it down for me.
Oh man, thank you for letting us talk a little bit about that. One of the interesting things about this particular product, and we have a menu of different products, but what's neat about this product is it's a 2900 milliamp, turn on, turn off, rechargeable, but no matter what type of phone you have, it fits like 99% of the market. So whether you have a micro USB tip, you plug it in. If you have a Type-C phone or a Type-C device, you put that adapter on it. If you have an iPhone, you put that adapter on it. Lights on. Whenever it's done charging your phone, the light will start blinking, plug it in, recharge it, and you're ready to go. So I do think this is a really, really neat product that's versatile enough. And then kind of the biggest one, we're talking about product stuff, is the USB rechargeable AA battery. And literally, I don't think many people have seen this. Like I said, I think it should be in every school, every public building. It'll recharge 500 plus times because it's the same battery materials in your cell phone. It's a lithium polymer. So you plug it in, it's got a USB tip, and when you're recharging it, you just put it in any USB port in your computer. There's a magnet that holds the cap on the back. You put the cap back on the front, and there you go. And so I've been using these in every remote control that I have, every mouse that I have for years. And I just love them because when we talk about real sustainability, I think it's these kind of simple things that we can embrace. Hey, I'm never going to buy another AA battery again because I'm using these. I think these are pretty neat because you don't need a special charging cord to charge them. So we're hoping that these will be out there in a lot of convenience stores come the fall. We're just rolling them out right now.
Right.
Well, they're unique. Thanks for letting us talk about it.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, listen, I love it because we got a QR code coming on there, and we're going to have a big time. Every day you're going to hear about it. Go green, man. Save green. That's what you do. You go green, you save green, baby. And I'm talking dollars. I'm talking bucks, baby. All right, Ken. Oh, man. Gets fired up about battery.
Well, you're a much better spokesman than I am for him, so thank you.
Well, listen, guys, you're all going to see it. Go to Paul Mini Batteries. It's unbelievable, and you'll see it all where you can get them. And you recharge it, man. You're not paying a whole bunch of money. It's coming to stores. It's coming to a lot of places, and you can also get it at the website and on the WolfMan's Call. All right, Ken, good stuff, man, about the batteries, the rechargers. But let's get to the real deal. All right, let's talk about Nico. Let's talk about you, your family. Actually, that Nico's made the move to West Virginia. Apparently, he likes it. Okay, he's staying there. Apparently, you guys like it because you guys have come to support as well. But let's go back and start the first time I met you, you're like telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, who is this dude, man? Who's this dude that builds a football yard in his backyard for a traveling team to go to 31 states when they're young and travel, and build a wrestling room for your son to go ahead and win, 2 state championships. It's just you're there to support, brother. And just let's go back and start off with Nico, your family, and how you got started in all this.
No, thank you very much. I think I've always had a passion for kids, and and just like you do, we have to be able to touch kids on their level, and we have to be able to touch them in things that we're passionate about, that we can share that passion. And football was one of those things. And we were blessed when we were younger to be able to have some extra space. We built a football field and a wrestling room. And as far as sustainability goes, I was a part of a company that was an LED lighting company all the way back 12, 13 years ago. So we had all these different LED lighting companies donate lights, and we ended up with the football field with a bunch of LED lights where we could take kids, practice at night, and we really did a lot with them. We really enjoyed the kids. We had that program, my wife and I, for 14 years, where we had youth football programs, and we had kids coming through the house, and so many of those kids were only on airplanes with us, and it's just a pleasure to see them all grow up now and to be paying it forward. And a lot of those kids are coaching their own youth teams now because I'm not a young guy anymore. So, but it's been really, really a blessing to be able to share the field and the experiences. Like you said, Nico's 8th grade team played 31 games in 9 different states. We were lucky enough to play. I mean, we went all over the United States. We played in Florida. We played in Arizona, California, Texas. We were the first youth team to ever play in the new NFL stadium in Canton, Ohio, at the NFL Hall of Fame, and we won the highest level tournament at Rocky Top in Tennessee. So it was just a great experience that we all got to have and share together. And those boys, literally, it's 2 of those kids are at Michigan State and a couple of them in Arizona. And we were just with a couple of those kids yesterday, came over for spaghetti. So it's like they never left. We had them over here, and they're talking about, their experience in Arizona and experience at Michigan State. I have an offensive lineman and a tight end off my youth team at Michigan State, center at Arizona. We have a running back at was at Stanford and just transferred from Stanford. But we got kids all over that are just paying it forward and getting a free education. So I love it.
Yeah, that's really cool, because it sounds to me like it's a lot like my days as a youth. We had what we call Hudson Road Stranglers. Okay, that was my street team. We didn't travel very far. We traveled to the one street to the next street to the next street, but we kicked your cans, baby. Don't you? There's no doubt about it. All right, well, that's fantastic. So you developed a lot of time with the youth, but let's go back to you were in Colorado. Then people are thinking, well, Nico's from he went to Hamilton High School in Arizona. I think it's Chandler out there. What was that transition? Why did you do it?
So I think what happened is with the pandemic hit, and Nico was at a Jesuit school really close to the house, great school, Regis Jesuit, started his first 2 years as freshman, sophomore. Then the pandemic hit, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? Looked like Colorado was going to not have football. There was a lot of groundswell. They ended up having part of a season and whatnot, but we weren't going to wait for other people to dictate his future. Mm-hmm. And so we made a real quick decision. It was either going to be go to Texas or come to Arizona. And one of his quarterback coaches was down here, and we were flying back and forth down here quite a bit to train anyway. And so we came down here and went to a bunch of different high schools, and he found the one that he liked in Hamilton, which is a real good program with some great people, and just stepped in. And it was really interesting because he really didn't attend school because they weren't in school, right? So he came down here, they practiced. It was almost like college where, you're on your own. You got to do your schoolwork on your own. You go to practice, you train. We put a weight room. We had a really nice weight room here at the house that he and I are training in right now. So it's been a lot of fun. So he's here right now training, 6 days a week like crazy, and trying to become the best mountaineer that he can possibly be.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's just go back, because Nico, you were telling me, 2-time youth state champ. When you were looking at your basement, I think in Colorado, how did that turn into a wrestling room?
You know what? Because I have 3 boys that are always fighting. Right?
All right,
so, you know what? Let's get a room that we're not using much and pad the walls and put a mat out there. And I'll tell you what was interesting though is always, as you can tell, we go all in whenever we're in the middle of something. And so we were lucky enough to be in the south area of the city, which was only about 45 minutes from the Olympic Training Center. So there were times when we would be able to have guys from the training center come up and roll around with my kids in our wrestling room, and Susie would cook for them, and we'd get them a ride down and back, but it really wasn't that far, and they were glad to get away. So they got to roll with some pretty significant people that would come to our house and teach them things. And more than anything else, life's about mental toughness and, commitment to finishing and those types of things that are inherent with wrestling, start to finish. And, it's never going to always go your way, just like life. And so I'm so grateful for the opportunity that the boys had to be on the mat, because it's a real no excuse place.
Yeah, it's true, because I wrestled too, so I was a pretty tough son of a gun. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I didn't have a wrestling room at my house, but I did have two older brothers that beat the crap out of me.
Nico does too.
I totally get it and understand it. I just think it's really cool to look at this in the background. So when you think about Nico and his passion, and he's himself, everybody in your family, but he's himself, and to see where his competitiveness. Because I'm going to tell you, when I looked at him at Hamilton High, again, I'm going to say this, it was when he was leading the team on a comeback, and he was puking water because he was so exhausted, but throwing the ball at the same time, and to a comeback, like you can't. That being captured on film was like I would go and say, "Listen, I want that cat on my team," because someone who's going to have that kind of inspiration and toughness and determination and discipline and willpower, if you will, to just keep fighting. That's who you want on your team.
That was a tear-jerking, really special experience for him. I was so happy for him. I try as I've gotten older not to say I'm so proud of you, but to say I'm so happy for you, because I don't want to take any credit for what he does, because or what any of the boys do, because I think it's a testament of their own character that they developed. But I'll tell you, one of the things I remember about is, before every game, we would go to whatever field we were playing, whether it was Saguaro or a home game or Queen Creek, and we would walk the field by ourselves, just Nico and I, and we would pretend to play the game. And I remember particularly when we were walking that field before that Bishop Gorman game, and he's dropping back, and I'm pretending to rush him, and we're playing out all these scenarios, and I said, "Bro, you're going to win this game tomorrow." I said, "I know you are." And he said, "We're going to win. We're going to beat them." And didn't know how. And I knew they were a very, very good football team. What a great program. And my mom went to Bishop Gorman, believe it or not. So there was just so much. There was just so much around that. And I'm just so happy that Nico got to have that kind of experience, because, as you know, when you come through for yourself, for your team, it creates a level of confidence that you can repeat that, right? Mm-hmm. And so you can't just talk about those things. You have to do those kinds of things. And when you get to be a part of that, that's an amazing amount of personal growth that I think that he was privileged to have there, that will continue to serve him, well beyond football.
Yeah, I know you have another son, I think two actually, but actually played sports. And I had the same thing with my two brothers. I can look up to. Right. They were successful, and I saw what they did and their traits, and that helped me along as well. And my father was a truck driver. My father wasn't. He was driving. We were up at 4:00 in the morning watching Buffalo Winners, baby. Buffalo Winners.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, that's what taught me toughness. Buffalo out there watching trucks. But you know what, man? There's so many cool things about the story. So, looking at Nico, and I'm going to be getting into talking to a whole bunch of different players on this show, but what makes Nico to you as the father? We know you're the father, but what makes him a little different?
I think his willingness to work when nobody's looking, which is one of the things that we have pushed, is you don't have to tell everybody when you're working hard, because it shows. So just go do it. And I think he personifies a lot of that. I think he's not nearly the talker that he is the doer, which is another thing that I'm really happy for him to have as a character trait. And I think he's very unselfish and about the team. And there was just so much that was a fit with the West Virginia people and the West Virginia culture, and just how much he just wanted to be there. He felt that was just a really good fit around a lot of real people. So he feels privileged to be there, I know, and we've made a lot of great friends ourselves.
Yeah, and going along with that is you're coming back this week to go down to the Greenbrier for Game Changers, and we're talking about the batteries. The batteries in there and the rechargers are there as well in the bags because you're giving to help with the opioid and substance abuse that's going on, especially for our West Virginia teens. And you're jumping in, being from Arizona via Colorado, and it's kind of a cool thing. So just go ahead and just do a quick update on what you're doing.
Well, it's all because of you, literally, that I was able to be introduced to this group. And I'm really, really excited because I see that the opioid crisis has been so devastating to so many families. When you're coaching youth sports and you have hundreds of kids, as you know, when you have hundreds of kids kind of running through a program, you get to hear all the challenges that those kids are going through, and that's certainly a national epidemic. So just having something like that affects West Virginia the way it does, and being able to do just a small part to sponsor and support that is very, very rewarding. So thank you for introducing me to Game Changer so that we can be a part of that. My wife and I are excited to fly out there this afternoon and be a part of the event this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you down there. Okay, so you guys integrating into West Virginia, how's that been working for you? Because I know you like it. I know you do, and your wife as well. And you bought a place up here, and you're here half the year maybe?
We are, and it's a great group of people, and that they were so welcoming to Nico and to all of us just to be a part of the community. I grew up in a really small town in southern Colorado, so it's very similar. So we come from where we are in southern Colorado was all coal mining and railroaders. So it was a bunch of tough people that weren't full of a lot of BS, that really just were hard, tough people that loved life, had good friends, went to church, and I see a lot of that in West Virginia from when I was a kid, and it's great. And my wife was from a really small town in North Carolina, so we kind of embrace having neighbors, and she's got a handful of really close friends that they go do things with, and no, it's a blessing to be there, to be out there and spend time there.
All right. Well, good. I appreciate it. What was you went ahead and bought a jet ski. What did I tell you? The one thing that jet ski had to do, it had to be able to pull my can, baby. We'll get to that later on. But listen, really appreciate your time, Nico. Nico's Italian Army. I know he likes meatballs. I know he likes spaghetti. I know that Clarksburg loves them, pepperoni rolls. And, the best thing about Nico for me is what I see here. He's 19 years old. He's got 4 years to play. No matter what he is, he's in the competition with Garrett Green. Best of luck, both of them. And, we know Garrett's a good guy, all that. And so we're just, seeing the best one to be able to play. But Nico's got 4 years, man. He's gonna be doing something really good for the Mountaineers, and I feel it. And that's because I got my crystal ball helmet, and that's what I rub it. And it goes and it tells me things. So I see it. I see Nico and the Marchiol and the Italian Army, baby, ready to rock and roll future years for Mountaineers.
Thanks, Wolf.
Oh yeah, I mean, can you imagine that? What a family! What a story! I'd say Ken the Wild Man. He's got 3 sons. All were competitive athletes. All were super special. It's a great story to know. I'm going to tell you something. I keep going back to this, and Ken laughs at me, but watching him go ahead and spit that water out and so exhausted in the game for a comeback tells me everything I need to know about this young man. I don't need to do watching the game of football. You can tell the character of people. Watching Nico Marchiol, I can tell the character of this young man. And whether it's Garrett Green this year, whether it's Nico, listen, Nico Marchiol at one point is going to be QB number 1. Okay, at some point, whatever it is, when Garrett graduates, listen, I'm not getting involved in that one. Let them work that out. But I know that this is going to be a great young man. And let's not forget, he's only 19 years old. And with that being said, now I'm going to go ahead and I want Mountaineer Nation to join me on the show. And Joey here is used to going on to the voice of college football all the time, and Joey Foster. And so I'm going to bring him on. But this is the beginning. And I want you to come on and give me your opinions. And Joey! What's
What do
going
you say? What's going on, Wolfman?
on? Well, I
Hey,
don't
I got something for you. 100. What? Tell me what is in 102 days, 3 hours and 39 minutes and 42 seconds.
another drag of a cigarette for you.
No, about having many before then. Oh man, it's the kickoff for the Penn State game. I'm excited about that.
All right, brother. That's very good. Hey, before we go any farther, and I know I kept you that whole thing went on a little bit longer there because I actually my beginning went on longer. But hey, Kelly McCourt, he just wants everyone to know that's listening that if you're in the Webster County, West Virginia area in Webster Springs this weekend, the U.S. World Championship Wood Chopping Festival starting Friday at noon. Joey, are you going to be in that wood chopping? Shh.
No, I won't be at the wood chopping festival.
What are you
I,
gonna
I
do
don't.
there?
I don't even know what an axe is.
You don't know what you look like. You sound like you know what an axe is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've used one a time or two, but yeah, I won't be in Webster County. I don't think I've ever seen a wood chopping contest, but it does sound like it'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, I watch them on ESPN all the time. Those things, they get up there, you know what I mean? And they're chopping and they're crazy. I'm surprised they don't hurt themselves more. But anyways, it is pretty cool. Thank you, Kelly McCourt. And I'll tell you what, Kelly's a big supporter there at Webster Springs. It's a world championship, dude, down in Webster Springs in West Virginia. There's 8,000 people in the whole county.
Yeah, I know. Like Weird County. Weird County's got what, 5,000?
Yeah, could be, man, for sure. All right, Joey. So listen, this is about you coming on here, Mountaineer Nation, coming on my show and being cool, being all the good stuff, man. And what do you want to talk about? What's your thing? You want to
Well,
talk?
there's a few things. I want to go trifold here. The first thing I wanted to mention is I know there's a lot of people that watch your show from Facebook that do not have what they think is a YouTube account. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account, and it's so. Joe, all you got to do is come on to YouTube and just log in with your Gmail account. They call it a channel on YouTube, so you're creating a channel, but you don't have to put any videos on that channel or anything like that. So if you always wonder how do I get a YouTube account or what do I do, just sign in with your Gmail username and password. That's all you've got to do there, and you'll be on YouTube. Then head over and sub us up on the Voice of College Football, West Virginia Football at the Voice of College Football. And you can watch Wolfman right here on YouTube with us as well. So that's the one thing I wanted to talk about there.
Let me go ahead and show this for you. Go ahead, keep talking.
Right, because we're getting that channel. We're at 951 subscribers, I believe, 951. So we need 49 more subscribers to push that thing to 1,000. And YouTube will take the channel very serious then and things. Also, we get monetized at 1,000, so we can start making a little bit of money for the show. So, invite your friends, neighbors, family, every Mountaineer you know across the nation, even if they're not Mountaineers. Ask them to join the channel. Let's push us to 1,000 subs, get it monetized, and things. That would be fantastic.
So right there, you see that? It's the West Virginia football at the Voice of College Football, West Virginia. There you go. I hooked you up, big dog. You're talking. Let's keep talking, man. What else we got talking about?
I want to ask you about a player that I think you and I talked about him a little bit, but we didn't talk about him a lot because we couldn't find out a lot about him. That's his Judah Price out of Independence High School. He's a walk-on. He's a Gatorade Player of the Year here in West Virginia. Listen to this, Wolfman. This is amazing. 2022, his final high school season. He's 5'8", 165 pounds, and he shattered several West Virginia state records. And some of these are like. He scored 396 points in his final year, 53 total touchdowns, 49 of them were on the ground. He's a running back. 49 were on the ground. He also get this. He had 39 2-point conversions. So in other words, when you got him on the team, why even kick an extra point? Just take a 2-point conversion. So this kid. I've not seen any tape on him. I've not been able to find any tape on him. Rushed for 2,500 yards. He has no stars. He's not on anybody's recruiting radar. Committed to West Virginia. And I think that's going to be a good pickup. It sounds like to me.
Well, 5'8". What did you say? What? How much?
5'8", 165. What Tavon weigh? 185?
Nah, Tavon he was 165 when he got to WVU. Let me tell you something. Okay, 5'8". You know what made Tavon so special besides being really fast, besides being very calm and collecting, having great field, incredible field, maybe one of the best field visions I've seen any WVU player. But he had the fast twitch. It was the fast twitch was bah, bah. You couldn't even see him do it, right? But remember when Bruce Lee used to chop you? You couldn't see it. He's so fast. Well, that was Tavon, his fast twitch. And so with his Judah Price, I don't care about the stars. He has no stars. He's from, you say Independence High School down there in Beckley. Is that it?
Yeah, and they went 12-0. And if you look at their schedule, they had a pretty tough schedule. They were beating teams 62-7, 62-14. The closest game they had was 21-7 against Bluefield.
Okay.
That was their closest game.
So what we need to do then is we need to go ahead and get the coach here and maybe Judah himself to come on and talk to us about what's his game. Because you know what? When I think of him at 5'8", there's so many guys. But man, is with Tavon, you could never hit him solidly. The reason why he went on and he really never got injured in college for sure, number one, even when he had that great game against Oklahoma, probably the best game I've ever seen in my life in college football for an individual player. But I'm telling you right now, if this guy, Judah, if he can be that guy, even at 5'8", 165 pounds, I'm not saying he's another Tavon. I'm not going to go there because there are two other Tavons. But if he could be that fast twitch guy, obviously, did you say 39 extra two-point conversions?
39 two-point conversions on his own. Right. Just handing the ball to him.
39. Okay, Judah Price, we need to get his coach here, Independence High School. We need to get some tape. We need to follow up on this. And good job by the West Virginia staff for getting him to commit, even though he has 0 stars. Who cares about 0 stars if you got a player that can develop? And with Neil Brown, he's said it all along and is now going on 5 years. That the walk-on program, and a state, especially as small as population as West Virginia, is extremely, extremely important. And I know that they treat them all well at the walk-on, and nobody's, it's not like it used to be. I could tell you the way it used to be. And being a walk-on in any Division I, but I can only speak for WVU, it was not easy. And we used to have to go out there and go to training table, and we'd take food extra for our buddies that were walking on because they didn't have any money. Well, it's not like that now. Everybody's just treated the same except for getting your tuition and books paid for. That is the difference, even though it's a big one. But even still, regardless, being involved with the team, it is a good deal. What do we got here? I am not a Mountaineer fan, but let's go WV win the Big 12 2023 100. That's Twisted Rooster. Tell me about Twisted Rooster, Joey.
Twisted Rooster, he's a South Carolina channel. Twisted Rooster is also in my network, one of my channels that I work with. So he's absolutely fantastic, man. He's a South Carolina guy, does a great job. His channel's kind of new. He's only got a couple hundred subscribers. He just started a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Does an amazing job over. Does great videos. So he's actually going to be coming on our Voice of College Football platform, just like you are on the West Virginia channel. He's going to come on and start doing some videos for the South Carolina channel as well. So,
well, yeah, okay. So, welcome. Is that Twisted Rooster? Is that what it said?
Twisted Rooster, yeah.
Twisted Rooster. I've kind of been once in a while. I've been called Twisted Wolfman. I would say it all the time for sure. And I want to say, hey, Keith Hawkins, when you're going to sit there and you're going to throw shade at what is that, Webster County? Watch out, man. There's Kelly McCord come back at you, bro. It's tough.
Now, Twisted Rooster. I'm more of a Twisted Tea guy. I drink Twisted Tea like crazy, and so does Twisted Rooster's wife. So we have a lot of that in common as well. So, but yeah, I look so forward to every time he has a show that comes on. He comes on like at 8:00 at night, does live shows. A lot of fun over there. We have a lot of fun. He's a super guy.
Okay, well, I'm glad to have you, Twisted Rooster, here. I'll have to come visit you on your channel. I'll subscribe to it. But again, what else we want to talk about? What do we have?
I'm going to ask you a question because I know you work a lot with NIL. I know you do a lot of work with the NIL project.
Don't you road trust, baby? Hey,
that's right.
See that right there? Woo!
So a lot of states are taking the initiative of saying, okay, let's put it through the legislature and make these players employees of the school. And it's more or less allowing them to pay for play, right? shouldn't the NCAA? I just think there's be some leadership in the NCAA to just come in and say, take out the pay per play rule. It would fix the transfer portal. It would fix this NIL collective where they could tie a player to a school. You could write an NIL contract and say, okay, listen, we're going to give you $1 million over the course of your four-year career here, but we're going to give you $100,000 a year, and in your final year here at West Virginia, we're going to give you the remainder of your $600,000 after the last game of the season. And you got to play in all your bowl games, by the way. You got to play your bowl games. I think that would help. But right now, you can't tie a player to a university by doing that.
No.
So they just need to get rid of the pay-per-play rule. There's no leadership in NCAA. Would you be okay if West Virginia legislature brought it up to make every student athlete at Western University and Marchiol, so forth, players, the student athletes, make them employees of the university,
Well,
so you
okay.
can tie them.
Hang on. First of all, is that you can't do this individually state by state because then it wouldn't be fair. So it has to be the National Congress. Hey, these guys can't even figure out our debt ceiling problems. Okay, seriously. When you think about this, what's Congress going to do? I think what has to happen is that the NCAA needs to get their act together because listen, they're gonna pay for these athletes. Name, image, and likeness is not going to go away. But what it needs to be is regulated in a way, just like you look at free agency in the NFL. There's caps. There's caps on everything. And I understand what you're telling me about going ahead and this year, that year, and then, getting your money at the end. Okay, those are different ways you can talk about that, and we don't have to disagree right now about that. That's all food for thought. Right? I mean, that's all good stuff. We need to have ideas, throw on the wall, and see what sticks. But right now, you can't go legislative because the Supreme Court is going to make the final decision. Jay Paterno, Joey, I think you weren't watching the show, but Jay Paterno came on. He's on the forefront of this. And I kind of agreed with him in saying I'm not going to put in Congress's hands right now when they can't even get a vote that's not partisan. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's fair. So, and I don't think that the West Virginia can go ahead and be different from any other state to either put us at advantage or disadvantage. So it has to be an overall mapping. I think there's only one place that could do this, and that's the NCAA. So I'm going to say this, and what Keith is saying is don't open that Pandora's box. Next we have strikes, arbitrations, and hold on. All right. Well, that's getting way down the line, but I'm going to say this. Is that someone has to regulate this. Someone has to put caps on this. Free agency, someone. I'm all for name, image, and like this. The fact that I wish it was around when I played ball. You know what I mean? Because I'm all getting people paid. There's certain stories that come out, and you'll see that kids are taking care of their families right now. Okay, you can't argue that. You can't beat that. And there's certain stories where universities have made billions of dollars off these kids. So we got to find out some way to get it cut down, to get to the streamline so that it's not out of control. It's not the Wild Wild West. It cannot sustain itself this way unless you want to see a top 20 teams that are here in this division, and that's what it's always going to be. Always top 20, and then you have the rest. If that's what you're looking for, well, go ahead and go with that. But if they can get regulation, Joey, on this and make it more fair, okay, for lack of a better word, to have it to be fair for all in a certain and paid for. Now, people are going to still be able to pay at a different level. G5 is not going to be able to go to the Power 5. Okay, FCS is not going to be able to go to G5 and Division 2 and so on down there. But it's a good thing that these players are getting money. Now we just got to figure out how to keep it in a competitive place where it's not going to destroy college football. And to be honest with you, I need to hear a lot more arguments and more cases be brought up that I understand so I can make a better educated decision. I don't think there's enough information out there right now to say that this is right. I do like what you had to say. I like the fact that, there's possibility of money being paid after you leave the school, all this stuff. But I don't like it that the West Virginia education or a legislation, doing that. The Supreme Court is going to rule, so it is going to have a ruling. And I'm not ready for our Congress or even Senate to go ahead and vote when we can't even agree on anything.
I agree with you 100%. I do not want that either at all. But the NCAA is not going to move on this, I don't think, because they've been sued so much they're afraid to do anything, and they get sued, and they haven't won none of these cases, right? Well, like the last 5 years have been sued like 14 times and lost all of them. So they're so scared of making any kind of arrangement that they're leaving everything alone.
Okay.
So
Now,
I worry about that.
all right, so they gotta pull up their shorts. They gotta get some toughness to them. Just
Yep.
like as I say this, okay, let me give you this question, Joey. It's the question of the week. Let's go. Is West Virginia a team that can be successful with or without being blue collar?
Uh, I don't know. I think that I think we got to have that blue collar mentality, no matter what. I think that makes us bigger, stronger, faster. That creates a 5-star atmosphere in a 3-star world, right? That creates you're turning your 3-star athletes into 5-star mentalities. So I like that idea, the blue collar. I think players. I don't like stars, right? I hate people that talk about, well, he was a 5-star recruit, so he's more talented than your high 3-star. That's not true. You put him in uniform, put him on the field. That's totally different. That's a totally different scenario there than them going through and finding out how their stars are, how many stars they're going to have. I don't care. You can take a 3-star athlete, 2-star athlete, 1-star athlete, line him up against a 5-star athlete, and take that 5-star athlete to town. I don't like the star system at all. I don't like rating systems. I think players are players, and coaches can find players. This just Price kid with his numbers obviously being overlooked. I don't know, can't figure that out. So maybe we need to find some film on it and see what he can do. But at the same time, I like the idea that 3-star kids with a chip on their shoulder, blue collar boys with 5-star mentalities. That's what I want.
All right, very good. I can't disagree with you there. I'm going to say this about the stars. What would everybody who doesn't know how to grade players do if they didn't have stars? How would they follow fans, your normal fans? And this is not an insult to anyone. What would they do? You got to have the stars now. They got to be able to rate them, even for the average person who doesn't understand everything. That's what you got to do. You got to have it, because I think the fans would go crazy. I think they'd revolt. I would be like all these other people that start their own websites and all their writings and all this and that, and they're sitting there and they're grading these players while they've never once been in Division I and broken down anything and understanding, and they're grading them. So I mean, how else can you do it, man?
Well, let's go back. Let's go back to the days of Andre Johnson and Eugene Napoleon, right? Those kids would have
what
been.
about the WolfMan?
And the WolfMan, right? But I was just bringing them just for an example. They would have been 5-star recruits today. They would have been 5-star recruits out of high school. Would West Virginia get a 5-star recruit?
Four, Joe.
You think they would have been 4?
4.
So we had a chance at them. But if they're getting these high-star ratings, all of a sudden Georgia starts looking at them hard, and Alabama and the rich get richer, right? That's how I feel about the star system. I hate the star system. Let the coaches find the players. Let them go and find them and have to do their job. But
they're rating transfer portal players now.
Right.
That's the rating here. I mean, it's you already opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah, I know it. You can't close it once it's open. I know that. I like the star system. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying take it away. What I'm saying is don't I just take people that look at teams and say, well, they're full of 5-star talent. There's no way you're going to beat them with your high 3 stars. That's not true, because there's mentality, there's strength and conditioning, that there's different coaching philosophies, coaching styles, there's culture. There's too much that plays a part in a football game, if you ask me.
Well, let's just go back to 2006 at the Sugar Bowl when it went to Atlanta. Georgia's playing a home game. They had the number 8 defense in the country. We had Pat White was a freshman. Steve Slayton was a freshman. I think Schmitty was a sophomore. We had those guys out there in the backfield. Yeah, well, they turned out to be like an incredible backfield, but that was Georgia. Those were 5-star guys. Those are your 4-star guys going against the 3-star guys. Owen Schmidt came from Division 3. I think it was in Wisconsin. Him and his mom driving around, going to the universities where he could walk on. I mean, there's no doubt there's proof that teams can win. I won't say there's a lot of proof because I think overall you're going to find Georgia's consistently win more, Alabama's consistently win more, but that's why you got to play the game. Obviously, Oklahoma, when Coach Rich Rod left and Coach Stu took over. We watched the speech yesterday of him firing the team up. That team went out there. Listen, I will tell you, that team, Joe, I was out there. That team was not going to lose. They went out there with a rage in them, a rage. They were pissed. Remember, they were to play. If they would have beat Pitt, they would have been playing for a national championship. Then they lose their coach, and they are pissed. And that's a team with talent like Pat White, but also guys that were probably 3-star guys, maybe even a few 2-star guys that developed and built themselves up. You had Mike Barr was in the head of the weight training back then. And, of course, now you got Mike Joseph, who I think is an absolute stud, just like Barwis was. And just like West Virginia has always had, and West Virginia has always done this, is that they have had the 3 stars. They've had a few bigger stars, yes, and they have had that. But overall, they've been a team that's been able to develop. Now you're getting into a thing about, West Virginia's a developing team. Well, we look at what's been going on in the last 40 years. You don't see a whole lot of seniors that have stayed through the program because they're not developing. Or they're not being developed because they're leaving. Okay, so they're being developed somewhere else or not being, whatever it is. I have no idea. I'm not going to go into that part. But that's the problem that you have now at West Virginia. So now you got to figure out, you got to come up with new strategies. When I was a head football coach, I had to come up with new strategies about how I was going to turn this team around. And just like we learned from John Pennington yesterday over at West Virginia State University, you got to change the culture, man. And right now, and you got to have an identity. I said, John, what's your identity of your team? We're the toughest team in America, Division II. That's what he said. Did you watch that? The toughest team in America. That's his identity. Well, okay, what's the identity of this Mountaineer team? Are we the toughest team in America right now? Are we blue collar right now? That's the question. Can West Virginia survive and be successful while being blue collar? And I want to hear this from Mountaineer Nation. Not that I don't know if there's an exact right answer.
There's one thing we're going to know is that in 102 days, 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 21 seconds, without a doubt, we're going to know whether or not these boys have a blue collar mentality and going to get out there and hit, because Penn State's extremely talented, extremely physical, extremely big, extremely good this year, and we're going to have to play our best game and hope for a C game from them. Seriously. And so I want to see, look, I don't expect to win the game. If we win it, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it. But if we can just stay close, it will tell me a lot about whether or not these guys have that mentality, that old school mentality that we like at West Virginia, to get in there and just smash mouth football. And that's what I want to see.
I can tell you, but back when I played, and I coached, and that's back when I played, 1987 and 1989. And we were so close to beating him those 2 years. I even told Jay Paterno that, because he was a backup quarterback on the team at that time. And 87 and 89, we came so close to beating him at Penn State. No one here, I think, young, knows, they have no idea what they're in for at Penn State. Yeah. It was 85,000, I believe, maybe even 80 or 85. I can't recall. But it was an old battleship. It looked like an old battleship, and you had to go in there, and they were just ruthless. And the student section was right in the one end zone, and you couldn't hear jack. And I'm telling you what, I was snoring spit, and I was snoring snots on Penn State, and they were snorting them right back at me. It was like a heavyweight fight, and that's what the Mountaineers are going to walk into. Yeah. Whatever time you just said, how many days, hours, and seconds and minutes, all that, whatever that is, West Virginia is going to walk into, it's going to be the big fight. And if they're not big boy ready, if they're not ready to throw the body blows to stay in the game, if they just try to go out headhunting, they're going to have issues. And there's no doubt, and I know what it's like. It is hard to win at Happy Valley.
Well, I've taken you over your time limit. I apologize, Wolfman. Let me get out of here because I've taken you over your time limit there. But
Are you
hey,
kicking
great
me
show.
off my own show?
Huh?
Are you kicking me off my own show?
No, I'm not. You can go as long as you want to. I feel like I'm holding you up.
No, I'm kind
Hey,
of get you,
I
brother.
I tell you one more thing before I go though. You know, we have a site called topqualityshirts.com. Topqualityshirts.com. And you can buy Voice of College Football merchandise on there. But if you click on where it says Voice of College Football and click on WVU, follow that up at WVU, you're going to see Wolfman's Call merchandise in there. It says Wolfman's Call at the Voice of College Football. You know, if anybody wants to get them a shirt, a coffee mug, whatever, we got a little bit of, I just added that merchandise to the store a couple of days ago. First time promoting it. You guys get in there and get you some Wolfman's Call merchandise.
All right.
Wolfman, love you, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Joey Foster. Go have a cigarette and smoke on me.
Well, you won't send me no Artisan Grange, you know, so.
You can't smoke it.
I know, can't smoke it.
All
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? My goodness. Listen, so I'm going to end this off here. Got going there with Joey Bloom. Went a little long today. Good to have Joey on there. He's got a lot going on. Say him and Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. They're all over the place. They got all these different kind of channels. You saw Twisted Rooster getting on Twisted South Carolina Gamecocks. Regardless. Okay, so remember, tomorrow we're going to be at the Greenbrier broadcasting. I think we're going to be coming at you at 5, right when the press conference starts. We're going to bring, hey, we got the governor, we got senators, we have a lot of who's who. I just talked to Daryl Talley. He's on his way there. Brian Joswick's on his way. We're going to have WVU coaches. We're going to have coaches from Marchiol. It's going to be a who's who game changer because these people are doing these golf tournaments, just like you saw Ken Marchiol jumping in, stop the opioid abuse, stop the substance abuse for our youth and for those that are addicted now. We're here. Game changer, man. And listen, I'm just going to say it right now. We're going to be there Wednesday, tomorrow night at 5. I hope you can remember the time change. And then Friday morning, the golf tournament starts at 9 o'clock. I think we're going to be, or Thursday. I got to keep myself right. So Thursday morning, the golf tournament starts like at 9 o'clock. I'll probably come on at 8:30. Who knows? We're going to be on hole number 1, baby, at the Greenbrier, the old white course. So, all right, guys, that is it. If you want to jump in, can West Virginia win if they're blue collar? Can they win or not win? Does it matter? Do they have to be blue collar to have success? I want to hear from you, just like Joey, man. Hey, listen, I didn't give him a hard time. At all. Good guy, Joey Foster. All right, everybody, we'll see you at the Greenbrier tomorrow. WolfMan's Call.
Dan Cava has the largest selection of new Camrys in the area, and with $1,000 off sticker price, now is the best time to purchase your new Camry. We also have a wide variety of Tundras, some featuring the all-new TRD lift kit. And don't forget, all new Toyotas come with 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of free service from our award-winning service department, which you can schedule online, by phone, or through the Toyota app. Come see us at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock.